quick ad. With Time Twist, you get exciting, bizarre, and significant historical events delivered to your phone every single day. Enjoying this episode? There's so much more in the app. You'll find the link in the show notes. Let's get started.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, forget the broad strokes of history. We're zooming in, really focusing on just one date, May 27th.
That's right. And our mission, if you like, is to see what connects the dots between events on this single day across many different years.
Exactly. Not just listing things, but finding those, surprising links and echoes. You might be amazed at the sheer range of human stories packed into this one date.
We're aiming for those moments that make you go, aha, Looking beyond the simple facts to find maybe a richer understanding, we've gone through quite a few historical snapshots for May 27th.
Okay, let's dive right in. How about we start with this theme of, let's say, shadows and light? Moments of darkness, but maybe with glimmers of something else.
Sure. Like May 27th, 2016. That was when Barack Obama visited Hiroshima.
Right, the first sitting U.S. president to go there since 1945.
A hugely symbolic visit. And his speech there, talking about a future without nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
It really highlights the power, maybe the hope, invested in words.
It does. Standing there at that place, it makes you think, how do we actually deal with these enormous historical shadows? Can words really help reshape that echo?
It's a profound question, isn't it? It suggests this persistent human desire for a better future, even after unthinkable tragedy.
Then fast forward almost exactly a year, but to 2015, May 27th again. Suddenly, it's the FIFA corruption scandal exploding.
Wow, yeah. Talk about a different kind of shadow. Millions in alleged bribes, reputations just shattered overnight.
It's quite the contrast, isn't it? Global diplomacy one year, global football the next, both facing these massive ethical crises on the same calendar date.
It really is. And I think it shows that, no institution, no matter how big or beloved, is immune to these kinds of, failures. Politics, sports. It makes you wonder about trust.
Yeah, how much can an institution like FIFA actually withstand? Where's the breaking point?
Exactly. It reveals that tension between the ideals we project onto these organizations and the sometimes messy human reality within them.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. May 27th also holds stories of immense tragedy, but often alongside incredible tenacity.
Like the Java earthquake. May 27th, 2006.
Yes. That was a powerful one, 6.3 magnitude. The devastation in Yogyakarta and Bantul was just staggering. Over 6,600 lives lost.
Terrible. Just terrible. But what also stood out was the response, wasn't it? The solidarity.
Absolutely. Aid poured in from all over the world. It really underscores that human capacity for empathy, even across borders, when faced with such loss. Resilience born from ruin.
It shows how interconnected we feel, perhaps, in those moments of shared vulnerability.
Then jump back a few years to May 27th, 1999, a really landmark moment in international law.
The indictment of Slobodan Milosevic.
Yes, a sitting head of state, president of Yugoslavia at the time, indicted for war crimes. That felt unprecedented.
It truly was. It sent a powerful message, didn't it? That political power maybe doesn't grant absolute immunity. It was this huge step towards global accountability, trying to hold individuals responsible no matter their title.
A real shift in thinking about justice on an international scale.
Definitely.
Now, May 27th also brings us some very personal stories, people behind the headlines, like Christopher Reeve.
Oh, yes. May 27th, 1995. His horse riding accident.
The man who was Superman to so many, suddenly facing this immense personal challenge, paralysis.
What's so striking about his story, though, is the transformation. He became such a powerful advocate for spinal cord research.
He really did. It's this incredible display of inner strength, a different kind of heroism maybe than the one he portrayed on screen, redefining courage.
Absolutely. It makes you think about what strength really means, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Often it's not physical at all.
Then, just 1 year later, May 27th, 1996, we see a ceasefire agreement in the First Chechen War.
Right, between President Yeltsin and the Chechen rebels. A very brutal conflict.
And while that ceasefire didn't last, unfortunately...
No, it didn't.
It represented a pause, at least. A moment where dialogue seemed possible. A flicker of hope amidst all that fighting.
Even temporary peace can be significant. It shows that desire, that constant human yearning to stop conflict, even when things seem intractable.
And going further back, May 27th, 1980. A much darker event. The Gwangju Uprising in South Korea.
Yes. A truly tragic day. Students, citizens demanding democracy and met with lethal force.
It's such a painful reminder of the cost of fighting for freedom.
It is. But, looking at the bigger picture of South Korean history, those sacrifices in Gwangju were, they were pivotal. They really fueled the movement that eventually led to democracy there.
So even in that tragedy, there were seeds of future change. The fight wasn't entirely in vain.
Precisely. It's a hard lesson, but an important one about the long arc of history sometimes.
Okay, let's pivot now to legends. We've got Capes, we've got Steel, May 27th, 1939.
Batman.
Yes. The debut in Detective Comics, #27, a completely new kind of hero.
Totally. No superpowers, just, incredible smarts, gadgets, and that sheer grit.
He represented something different, didn't he? A hero for maybe a darker, more complex world.
I think that's why he endures. He's rooted in human potential, fighting darkness with human means. It resonates.
And just 2 years before Batman's debut, May 27th, 1937, another icon arrives.
The Golden Gate Bridge.
Opening to pedestrians for the first time. Can you imagine roller skaters, dancers crossing this incredible structure?
That crimson marvel, as they called it. It wasn't just a bridge, it was instantly a symbol, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Of California, sure, but also just human ingenuity, ambition, bridging the impossible.
A true feat of engineering and vision.
Sticking with structures, May 27th, 1930, the Chrysler Building officially opens.
Ah, the Art Deco masterpiece. Briefly, the tallest building in the world.
Another symbol of reaching high, that sense of ambition and maybe American optimism at the time, despite looming economic clouds.
Definitely. That Art Deco style just embodies that forward-looking spirit, pushing boundaries in design.
But then, May 27th, 1934, takes us somewhere else entirely. The second FIFA World Cup kicks off.
Hosted in Mussolini's Italy.
Yes. And that's a really stark reminder, isn't it? How even something like football, meant to unite, can get tangled up in politics and propaganda.
Oh, absolutely. That tournament was heavily used by the fascist regime. It shows that complex, sometimes uncomfortable intersection of sports and politics that we still see today.
It's a part of football's history that's, quite controversial.
Important not to forget.
May 27th is also a birthday for some pretty notable people.
Quite a few, actually. Henry Kissinger, born 1923. A huge figure in 20th century diplomacy, undeniably.
Very complex legacy, of course. Lots of debate there.
Always. Then you have Louis Gossett Jr., born 1936.
Hollywood royalty. An Oscar winner. Such a powerful screen presence, a real symbol of talent and perseverance.
Absolutely. A groundbreaking career.
Paul Bettany, born 1971. Many people know him now as Vision in the Marvel movies.
Right. It's interesting, isn't it? He brought so much kind of humanity to an android character.
He really did. Exploring consciousness, emotion, all that stuff.
Yeah, through a superhero lens.
Then there's Jamie Oliver, born 1975.
The chef. He's had a real impact, especially with the school lunches campaign and just making cooking seem accessible.
Yeah, using his platform for social change around food. Pretty effective.
And Pat Cash, the tennis player, born 1965.
Ah, Wimbledon. That climb into the stands.
Iconic. One of the great celebratory moments in sports. Just pure joy and spontaneity.
Definitely created a lasting image.
You're sure?
But, May 27th isn't all triumph and celebration. There's heartbreak, too. May 27th, 1895.
Oscar Wilde. Sentenced to prison.
Yes. Imprisoned simply for who he loved. It's a deeply tragic moment. Especially when you think about LGBTQ plus history. A stark reminder of past injustice.
Absolutely sobering.
Yeah.
Yet, his words, his wit, they endure, don't they? His legacy is so much more than his persecution. He still resonates powerfully.
He really does. And then, on a completely different note, May 27th, 1933.
What happened then?
Disney released Three Little Pigs.
Ah, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Exactly. And think about the timing, 1933, right in the depths of the Great Depression.
That's a good point.
Something as simple as that cartoon. It offered, maybe a bit of hope. Simple joy, escapism, when things were incredibly tough.
It really shows the power of storytelling, doesn't it? Entertainment providing comfort and maybe a little resilience in dark times.
So when we pull back and look at all these different May 27th, Hiroshima, FIFA, earthquakes, indictments, Batman, bridges, birthdays, heartbreak, it's quite a mix.
It really is. It underlines that history isn't just one neat story, is it? It's this complex, layered, often contradictory tapestry.
So what's the big takeaway from this single date deep dive?
Well, I think it vividly shows how these seemingly random events touch on these core human themes, Justice, resilience, the impact of individuals, creativity, tragedy, hope, they're all woven together.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. And maybe the final thought for you, listening, is this. As you look at these disparate events from May 27th, what connections do you see? What underlying human thread links, say, Obama's speech in Hiroshima to the opening of the Golden Gate Bridge, or to Oscar Wilde's fate?
How does one day hold so much?
Exactly. Thinking about that might give you a fresh angle on your own place in that ongoing flow of history, and how any day really can hold immense significance.